Welcome back. As Iran seeks a path to nukes in Vienna, the Russian government is demanding that any Ukraine-related sanctions will not alter their trading relationship with the terrorist regime. Joining me now, Rabbi Shmuley Botek, author of Kosher Hate and founder of the World Values Network, also with us, Senate Chair of the National Iranian Congress and author of Comrade Ayatollah Amir Fakhravar. Gentlemen, welcome. Rabbi, I'm going to begin with you. You ran this full-page ad in the New York Times warning Biden that a nuclear deal with Iran could permanently damage the United States' national security. You say the Times censored you from writing that Iran has murdered American soldiers. What reason did they give you for that, sir?
They said that we would be implicating an entire country and we could not malign all the people of Iran. So I quickly went to their homepage while I was on the phone with the advertising department. We've done countless full-page ads at the New York Times. And I said, it says here that Russia invaded Ukraine. How can you write that Russia invaded Ukraine if you're maligning every single Russian? And they actually said to me, there's a difference between editorial standards and advertising standards. This is all just nonsense. It seems the New York Times wants to protect the Iran nuclear agreement at any cost. I've rarely seen a world-class publication, the newspaper of record, censoring my First Amendment rights, but about facts that Iran killed American soldiers. We have a picture of the Khobar Towers bombing in 1996, where President Clinton wrote to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and said, we have definitive proof that Iran and the Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, murdered our soldiers. We gave that to the Times, and they only let us write that the soldiers were killed as if Martians came from another planet, and it wasn't Iran.
Well, I think you said it, Rabbi. You wouldn't expect that from a world-class newspaper. The New York Times hasn't been a world-class newspaper for many moons. Amir, Antony Blinken said that Russia wants to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon, and their demands will have no impact, mind you, on the talks. Listen to this.
The sanctions that are being put in place and that have been put in place on Russia have nothing to do with the Iran nuclear deal and the prospects of getting back into that agreement. These things are totally different and are not in any way linked together.
All right, but Amir, there's a different story coming out of Vienna. Russians are saying that any sanctions on Iran should not interfere with their business dealings with Iran. Who's really running the show over there? Is it the United States or is it Russia?
Oh, definitely it's Russia. As Gabriel Noronha, one of the high-ranking officials at the State Department, he resigned, mentioned that on his Twitter, and then he resigned and said it's definitely Russia running the show. And but the case is, let me go back to 2006 when the campaign for Iranian oil sanction was started. I was in prison in Iran for more than 5 years. They broke under torture, at least 50 bones in my body. And then when I came to United States with the help of Pentagon at during the Bush administration, then I started the oil sanction campaign for Iran. Everybody in Washington, D.C. have been telling me, no, Amir, don't touch oil because the oil market will be destroyed. And I said, look, when the regime has 85 to 90% of its money from selling oil, you are going to just do some stupid, smart sanctions, which in the best case scenario will hurt just 10% of regime's economy. Just forget about all of those and put sanction on Iranian oil. They did it finally in 2015, and look what happened. Iran is bankrupt right now. Iran was using all these petrodollars to support all the terrorist groups in the Middle East and in the world, to kill the Americans, to go after them, the Israel. And they are just to crack down the Iranian people itself, to torture us as Amir, activists.
Yeah, and Amir, you've got Pete Buttigieg out there suggesting that maybe we could go to Iran and start buying their oil again. It's absolutely nuts. I want to ask you both this question. I've only got about a minute and a half left, so would you guys just take about 30, 40 seconds apiece? I am terribly concerned that the Biden regime wants to finish the job the Obama regime started to make sure that the #1 state sponsor of terrorism becomes a nuclear power. Rabbi, are you concerned about that as well?
President Obama's legacy will never live down the JCPOA of 2015. It was an abomination to American values. We gave murderers $150 billion. They have rivers of American blood on their hands, and we legitimized their nuclear program so they could get a bomb. Let's be clear. Iran is an oil superpower. They're an oil exporter. They need oil as much as I need a ham sandwich as a rabbi. This is all about a bomb, a bomb, a bomb. They call Israel the one-bomb state. They say death to America. Rob Malley, the chief negotiator in Vienna, should resign. How could he have kept Russia in as equal negotiators with Iran after the invasion of Ukraine? I thought we were sanctioning Russia. And finally, if President Biden is correct that sanctions work against Putin, who's the face of evil in the modern world, so is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He is evil to the core. He is a killer. Iran are liars. And that we can traverse American values by giving these murderers so much money in a nuclear program is an affront to everything we stand for. And my heart bleeds for all the families of the servicemen and women of our country whom Iran murdered.
Very true. Amir, I've only got about 30 seconds left, but it's all yours. Please, are you concerned that Mr. Biden is going to finish Obama's work to make sure that the #1 state sponsor of terrorism gets nukes?
Chris, it's the same guy, Rob Malley. He is Iranian agent, Mullah's agent. Just read Javad Zarif, former foreign minister's book. Just read Gabriel Naranjo's tweet, and you will see Rob Malley is not working for State Department in the United States. He's working for the Ayatollah in Iran. As I mentioned in my book, Comrade Ayatollah, the Iranian regime, entire regime, it was not a revolution in 1979. It was a coup d'etat by Soviet Union. Russia is running Iran for last 4 decades. And right now, what they are doing exactly, they want to help Iran to be nuclear. Then Russia can use that against who? What is happening? That's a disaster.
Wow. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Fascinating discussion. Rabbi Shmuley Botek and Amir Fakhravar, gentlemen, thank you very much.